Well, good Thursday morning to everyone. My name is Don Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute, and this is what I call my morning musings. I appreciate you being with me. Thanks so much for your interest. By the way, I've had some people wanting to order and asking a few questions about this book on Hebrews by Tony Denton that I've suggested to you a couple of times. This really is a great book. Very easy reading, by the way. Very understandable. And it just walks completely through the book of Hebrews. And, well, you know, just a great commentary. I have been reading it here, and I love the layout. I love the linguistic studies. And as I've been sharing with you, I'm offering this for $17.50. It's normally $17.50 plus shipping of $4.50. But if you mention YouTube, go to my website, www.eschatology.org or BibleProphecy.com, and go to PayPal, send me $17.50, mention YouTube, and I'll send you the book. No shipping whatsoever. It saves you almost $5. So for those of you who have been asking, that's how you do it. I do not have it yet on my websites, but it will be before very, very long. So take advantage of this special offer on this great new book, Hebrews, From Flawed to Flawless, Fulfilled. Excellent, excellent new book. I'm sharing with you some thoughts from Revelation, thoughts that helped me and caused me to move from the amillennial view to the preterist view. You know, Revelation chapter 7 and Revelation chapter 14 both depict to us the 144,000 out of the 12 tribes of Israel. In addition to the 144,000, you have the great multitude that no man can name. So there's a very clear delineation between this remnant of Israel and this great multitude. Now, here's what's so interesting. Obviously, the 144,000 were looking for salvation. The Lord promised in chapter 7, I will lead them. He'd be the shepherd, which is from Isaiah 49. He said, I will lead them to living waters. Well, that's the living waters of Revelation chapter 21 and 22. So, here is the remnant of Israel anticipating the consummation of her salvation history, which of course then would open up the doors for that salvation to flow to all nations. And see, this imagery of the fulfillment of Israel's hopes and promises is found especially in chapter 14, in which the remnant, they are depicted there, they're holding palm leaves. This is all about the Feast of Tabernacles from Israel's promises. The Feast of Tabernacles foreshadowed, typified, predicted the resurrection, which is the harvest of chapter 14. Well, here's my point. Revelation 14 is very clearly about the salvation of the remnant. Well, when we go to Paul said the salvation of the remnant was taking place. It had already been initiated in his day. Romans 11, verse 7. And oh, by the way, I have produced a 7-part series on Romans 11, verse 7, in which Paul said, Israel has not obtained that for which she sought, but catch this, the elect. And who is the elect in Romans 11? The righteous remnant. The elect has obtained it, the rest were blinded. Now here's what's really critical about this. For Paul, the salvation of the remnant had begun, had been initiated. Okay? Israel has not attained, the remnant has. The righteous remnant, the elect, has attained. Well, as he discusses the salvation of the remnant back in chapter 9, Paul quotes from Isaiah chapter 10, 20 and following, the prophecy of the salvation of the remnant. And Isaiah predicted that when the time came for the salvation of the remnant, it said, a short work will the Lord make on the earth. Paul quotes that in Romans 9:28. So, here we have Paul, who says the salvation of the remnant, foretold by Isaiah, had already begun. Okay? Isaiah said that when the time came for the salvation of the Lord, that work of consummating Israel's salvation through the salvation of the remnant would not be a long work, but a short work will the Lord make upon the earth. Now, the word short that he uses is the Greek word sumtinon, and it cannot be, by any stretch of imagination, be extended 2,000 years. It means just the opposite of a long time. That's why it's translated a short work will the Lord make upon the earth. Most translations say a brief work, not a long work. Okay. So once again, Paul says the salvation of the remnant had begun. Revelation is about the salvation of the remnant. Paul, quoting Isaiah, who promised that when the time for the salvation of the remnant arrived, the Lord would accomplish it soon. It would not be a long work. He would accomplish that work in a short time. Over in Revelation, John, who's talking about that salvation of the remnant, said, or was told by the Father, these things must shortly come to pass. You see how Revelation agrees perfectly with Paul and with Isaiah? And of course, again, Paul is saying it had to be accomplished soon, briefly, shortly, if you please. And John says, was told, these things must shortly come to pass. You know, if we take either Paul or Romans, or Revelation outside of the context, historical context, the prophetic context in which it was written, we are doomed to misunderstand it. Paul said the salvation of the remnant had begun, and the consummation of that salvation work would be accomplished soon. It would be a short work. John anticipated the salvation of the remnant in the new creation and said these things must shortly come to pass. That doesn't fit the time of Rome. It doesn't fit an identity of Babylon as Rome or the Roman Catholic Church. It has to do with the consummation of Israel's salvation history. And that only fits the period of time consummating in the fall of Jerusalem in AD 70. Hey, thanks so much for joining me for this morning's musings. We hope to see you in the morning.